My sister Myra, 40 female, has a daughter called Callie, 19. Callie's dad was not in her life when she was a child, his choice, and Myra was a single mom for Callie's entire childhood. There was a time when Callie was 8 when Myra got into a relationship with a man called Troy. They were together for 3 years and spent a lot of time together. Myra introduced Troy almost immediately and they worked on all of them bonding and getting to know each other. Then, after 3 years, Troy and Myra had been talking about marriage. Troy decided to ask Callie for her blessing. Callie said she didn't want her mom to marry him. At that point, he decided the relationship as a whole wasn't going to work, and he told Myra and they broke up. Myra never forgave Callie for refusing to give her blessing, and she blames her for the downfall of the relationship with Troy. He didn't want to be stuck in a relationship where Callie would never want him around, and Myra was convinced that Callie had lied for many years and said Callie always said how much she loved Troy. I know that was more wishful thinking on Myra's part, and Callie never said anything, either positive or negative. She was never asked and never offered it independently. Callie knows how Myra feels about her, and when she moved out 18 months ago, she did so by being fully independent of her mom so she wouldn't have to be around her mom's resentment. I've spoken to my sister about this and she denies resenting Callie. Myra cannot understand why Callie stays away. She's complained about this a lot and has asked me what she's supposed to do and why this crap must be so hard. And when I ask her what she means, she says parenting. I told her a few days ago that if she really wanted to know her next step, I told her it was therapy. I told her she badly needed it because she refused to see why her relationship with Callie was so distant today. Myra took offense to the suggestion and told me I shouldn't be treating her like she was crazy. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She's holding a grudge against her daughter for a relationship that didn't work out years ago. Blaming Callie for the breakup with Troy is absurd. She lost her daughter because she wanted to be with a man. I hope it was worth it. Callie moving out and keeping her distance is entirely understandable given the situation. I don't know your sister enough to suggest therapy, but you're not in the wrong here. You're saying the girl was 11 when this dude asked her permission to marry her mom, and he walked away from a 3-year relationship because a kid probably on the cusp or amid raging puberty didn't give him her blessing. She was 11, as if she could really grasp what marriage really even meant. That is such a moronic reason to cut a relationship off. Either this guy was an absolute moron, or he was using that as an excuse to cut things off. What a loser. Yeah, dude folded because a girl didn't immediately jump for joy, and her mom held a grudge over that. Utterly ridiculous. Myra is blaming her daughter for maybe he actually respected the child's feelings. Being a good parent is completely selfless because it means listening to your child. If the kids are not ready for her parents to get remarried, then a good parent doesn't. I wouldn't marry someone if their kid wasn't ready for that. This guy did the right thing. This is my female 35 brother's wife, 29. My brother, 31, and her have been together since high school. They've been married for 9 years. They have 4 kids, 1 girl, kindergartner, twin boys, preschoolers, and another boy, toddler. She's currently pregnant with their 5th kid. She got a degree from college, but she completely ditched her career when she got pregnant with their first baby. My brother took over the family business, so I guess they're doing well enough financially. Ever since she had her first child, she got into this annoying mother mindset, in which she literally can't talk about anything else than her kids and how much she loves motherhood. She's always advising anyone who's listening, always asking dumb questions that she already knows by now just to keep the focus on her and her kids. I have 2 kids, so I was always understanding and tried to help her, especially with her first child since I was already a mom then. But ever since the twins, she's become more annoying every time we meet. She can go on and on for hours about her kids, marriage and house, basically just bragging about how perfect her life is. She seems to believe that she's in some sort of fairy tale or something. She comes across as childish sometimes. Well, I got tired of it. She was in the middle of bragging about how easy it was for her to get pregnant again when I asked if she knew how insensitive she was sounding. She said that she just feels fortunate for her fertility. I let it go that time, but then she started talking about how much she enjoys motherhood and how she feels this was her call. She said that it's so easy and she can't imagine prioritizing a career instead of her children. Well, I snapped at that. I told her that she should stop bragging about her perfect life like that without a care if the other women near her have fertility issues or financial problems that don't allow them to sit at home all day looking after the kids. She got defensive and said I'm just jealous because my marriage is a failure, so I can't be happy for her. I told her that she sounded like an entitled child, along with some other things, and she started crying. Now I'm the idiot because I can't be happy for my own nibblings and their mother. I'm seriously struggling to see how I'm wrong here. I don't doubt that she's happy with her life. She does seem content. I don't doubt that her life is perfect for her. But when she goes on and on about it and makes those dismissive comments about other mothers, that's annoying. Edit, I should have clarified this, but she thinks that women who prioritize a career over their children are bad mothers. For example, she feels my marriage is failing because I work instead of staying home and focusing entirely on my children and my husband. She believes that once a woman has children, she should be devoted to her children and her husband because that's what she did. So if a woman, for whatever reason, chooses to go back to work after having children, then that automatically makes you a bad mother. Our kids like to play together and we often have play dates for them. But when her kids come to my house, she has to come as well since she doesn't trust that I'll take good care of them. This is not only applied to me, but she's refused to send her oldest daughter to other kids' houses because their mothers have jobs. Basically, she thinks that to be a good mother and have a good marriage, you have to do what she did. If you don't do it like her, then it's your fault if your marriage fails and you're a bad mom. Also, I'm in the middle of divorcing my husband. She thinks it's because I don't stay home and I wasn't paying enough attention to my husband. But I'm divorcing my husband because he's a man-child who doesn't do chores and even expected me to tie his shoes. My marriage is failing, has failed actually, but not because of the reason she claims. Not the idiot. She sounds annoying and a complete bore if all she can talk about are kids, home, etc. You can be a stay-at-home mom and talk about things outside your nuclear family. Your brother has to validate her though, because that's all she's got, and maybe her being so blissful makes him feel good too. Limit time with her to what is necessary. She isn't gonna stop. And her boasting about her fertility is insensitive. She might be talking to someone who can't have kids or who has lost a child. I wonder what her entire life is going to be about when her kids leave the house. I bet she already has a plan for that, like babysitting her grandkids. I'm leaning toward everyone being the idiot here. There's not a doubt about the fact that your sister-in-law sucks. She does. I think once you're above 30, everyone knows someone like this woman. I'm 40, so I know several, lol. That said, you sound jealous, and I think you were probably overzealous in your reply because of it. Maybe not enough to be an idiot, and even if enough to make you an idiot, you're certainly not your sister-in-law's equal. But I would examine your feelings and motivations and figure out why you need to tear her down so hard. When I was in high school, I was constantly bullied by Sophie. She made fun of my appearance, personality, hobbies, and grades. She also spread rumors about me and often told me that she wished I'd die, and was pretty specific about this. In elementary school, a witchy, stuck-up brat named Sophie endlessly spoke about how she was rich. I do not have a positive connotation of the name Sophie, but I wouldn't just dislike someone because they share that name. My husband, 27, and I, 26, were discussing names for our child. We don't know if it's going to be male or female, but we started making a list of 10 male and 10 female names that we would consider. One of the female names my husband was very insistent on was Sophie, the name of his dead grandmother who raised him since his parents were always busy with work. At once, I told him that I wouldn't even consider it because the bully who tormented me throughout high school was also named Sophie. He got angry since he wanted to use the name of the person who meant so much to him, but I refused. He told me we should at least put it in the possible names, but I said not since I didn't even want to consider it. He got really angry that I wasn't trying to take his opinion into account. Am I the idiot for refusing to consider naming our child Sophie? He's quick to say you won't consider his opinion for someone who won't even think for a second how traumatizing that name could be for you. Is he seriously not realizing the hypocrisy of that comment? Not the idiot, you have every right to shoot down any name you wish, and so does he. Yeah, ask him the name of somebody he hates. Then insist you name your daughter that. Then say, but you're not taking my opinion. OMG, tell him to get over himself. I know it's upsetting for him, but for all the butterflies calling his daughter that would give him, it will give you literally the opposite feeling, and he needs to respect that. Did beloved Granny have a middle name you could use as a baby's first name or middle name? Names need approval from both parents. Good luck, and I hope you have a boy so that this name isn't even a relevant option for your husband anymore. My 27 female sister Rosie, 31, is dating this guy Joe. They've been dating for about 5 years now. About 4 years ago, Rosie quit her tech job to stay home and care for his children. They do not have children together. During the global issue, Joe lost his job and had to get a much lower paying job, so he doesn't earn much now and they struggle financially. Rosie tried getting a tech job again, but she wasn't hired for any of the jobs she applied for. I suggested that she look for other jobs, even part-time ones, but she thinks it'll be a waste of her talents to work a random job when she has 2 university degrees. So although they've been struggling financially, she isn't looking for any job that isn't in tech. My problem with this entire thing is she keeps asking me for money to pay bills or make ends meet. It isn't a lot, probably £200 or £300 a month, but sending her £200 or £300 a month gets annoying when that could go into savings. I've been doing this for a year. Recently, I told her I need to save for a holiday I'm taking with my friends this summer, so I can't afford to keep giving her monthly money. I have other savings for more important things I can't spend on a holiday, so I have to save for it from scratch. She asked if I'd actually rather see her struggle just so I could go on holiday. Honestly, this annoyed me. I told her she could get a job if she wanted to, but her pickiness was the reason she was broke. Her stepkids are at their mum's house half of the time, so there's no reason she can't work on those days. It doesn't have to be a tech job, but literally anything will pay her more than I give her a month if she just tries. She said she sacrificed her life for her stepkids and now she's suffering financially. She can't get her old job back, and none of us, referring to me and our other siblings, whom she used to ask for money before me, want to help her get back on her feet. I said we've all helped her for years, and frankly it wasn't us who asked her to stay home and raise those kids, so I'm not sure why she's making it our problem. I told her I could send her £300 one more time when I got paid, but I wouldn't send anything again unless she was in dire need. She said a lot in anger that I'm not taking personally. She claims her main issue isn't even that I'm not sending her money anymore, but that I care more about taking a holiday than her well-being. I just don't think it's fair to ask me to put my life on hold just to send her money every month when she's perfectly able to get a job. Am I the idiot? She's too good to accept a job that's not in tech, but shaking you down to pay the bills is okay, and other family members too. That math doesn't make sense. You are not the idiot. While sending £200 or £300 a month seems small, it isn't. The grand total adds up quickly, and it's not until you look back that you realise you've given, it's not a loan if you're never getting it back, is in the thousands that you could have been investing in your own future. I'm sorry you have such an ungrateful family. You are not financially responsible for your sister, her partner, or his children. You are 100% entitled to use your money however you want. She refuses to get a job that's not in tech because it's beneath her, yet she is completely comfortable demanding money from you and other family members. Your sister is entitled as heck. She needs to live within her means. End of story. OP's sister is not just an idiot, she's a major idiot. She quit her job to raise kids that weren't hers for a man she's not married to. She's using you, you're enabling her, and the arrangement is unsustainable. Stop giving her money. Stop reacting to her egregious claims. She does not care about what's fair to you. She cares about you paying for her lifestyle. Let her be an adult and manage her own finances. Start setting boundaries and stand up for yourself. My female 21 mother, 42, had a baby last year. She took a year off work, not paid, and now she'll have to go back to work. My mother had to take the time off because her pregnancy was more complicated due to her age. Even though she and her husband weren't in an ideal financial situation, they have been paying bills with their savings, so my mother must go back to work. I have a daughter of my own. She's a preschooler. I don't work. I stay home and look after her while my boyfriend works. I'm also taking online courses to try to get some education and get a job. I'm also pregnant with our second baby, first trimester. Well, my mother asked me to babysit for her since I'm home anyway and she needs the help. I told her no because when I'm not looking after my daughter, I'm studying or doing home chores, and having another baby at home will make everything twice as difficult. It'll probably add up to the stress I'm already feeling, and I don't want that to harm my baby. I know she's in a difficult place and I understand why she'd ask me, but she's pressuring me to agree. Is this a reasonable boundary? I know her position, but I feel like she doesn't understand mine. She told me that I owe it to her because she babysat for me when I had my baby so I could finish school, and I know she did, but I feel like I can't babysit for her now. Looking after an 8-month-old while doing everything else I have to do will be too hard. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Adults choosing to have kids should have their crap together enough to be able to provide for and take care of their kids. This is your mother's and her husband's problem to figure it out. There is nothing wrong with them asking you, but if you don't feel like you can for whatever reason, they must respect that. It's not your job to bail them out. Yeah, your mom is 42 years old. Why did she have a baby without making plans for childcare? And she's going to stand there and guilt trip you about babysitting your kids so you could finish high school? And because of that, she expects you to babysit now? Manipulation at its absolute finest. A gift with strings attached is a gift that is not a gift at all. This is your mother and her husband's problem to fight, not yours. You are not your sister's keeper and have your own life to live. Exactly. Your mother helped you babysit because you were 17 when you had your baby and under her care. She was still responsible for your education, even though you'd had a child. You have one child and another on the way, as well as schooling to complete. And she wants to add a baby to your workload? I'm assuming she wouldn't be paying you either. Nope, she's a grown-up.